Vanessa, thank you. You're listening to Sydney's home of sport, SEN 1170 AM Breakfast with Vossy and Brandy, and it's SEN and TJM's ultimate giveaway. Spend $79 or more with TJM and enter to win the ultimate NRL Grand Final experience in Sydney.
Yeah. Now, this is a treat early. Often we don't get the big guests on early, but we're doing it today. He's back in Australia after the Paris Games. Harry Garside in his career, when he won the bronze medal at the Olympics back in 2020 in the men's lightweight, that was the first time in more than 3 decades that an Australian had medalled in the Olympics. He's won gold at the Commonwealth Games, and I think we were all struck. I think it pinged at our hearts what happened in Paris, Harry's reaction to defeat. Let's just jog the memory on that one, courtesy of Channel 9. This is what Harry had to say.
Crazy, mate. 2 decades dedicated to one dream, and it's over just like that.
How are you feeling after this morning?
I feel pretty numb right now, but I'm sure the next month or two will be quite challenging, quite hard. I fear for my mind gets the better of me, and I feel like I've let myself down and let a few people down, mate, but what do you do?
I think everyone wanted to put their arm around Harry Garside. Australia as a collective wanted to put their arm around. Now, The Good Fight is the book, Harry Garside's story up until now, and he's on the line right now. Welcome to Breakfast with Vossy and Brandy, Harry.
Hey, thanks for having me on, boys.
Has the dust settled? Like, you hear that grab and that's the emotion. That's very raw at the time, but the rest of us didn't feel that way. We didn't feel like you'd let us down. Have you been able to put that part of it, unpack that, and mentally where you're at?
Oh, mate, to be completely honest, like listening to that just then, it sort of like shivers down your body, down your spine, and it's real, it's honest, it's pure. I feel like since that moment, I sort of went into a bit of self-preservation mode, and I've sort of just been a bit of autopilot, and I've had a couple of glimpses of whether it be joy or whether it be sadness, but it's been very minimal. I feel like since I've fought, I've very much just been going through the motions. So I'm sort of got a lot on at the moment with the book tour for The Good Fight, which has been quite a good distraction. But as soon as that's done, mate, I just really want to give myself like 5 to 7 days in nature, no phone, no nothing, just by myself, and create some space to feel some emotion, because I think there is still some emotion in there to be felt.
Okay. Well, it's good that you've got a distraction, because and you're not training at all now, are you? Or are you? Are you still doing something?
Yeah. I train every day. I always love to train. It's just for my mental health more so. So I always make a deal with myself to do 1 session a day. The intensity level and the duration is a lot shorter than what it was pre-Olympics, but I've always got to do something to tick the body over.
Well, tell us about the book, Harry. The Good Fight. Written before the Olympics, obviously, and I guess it starts with you in Lilydale, a suburb an hour outside of Melbourne, and you weren't always going to be a boxer, were you?
Yeah. The book touches on a lot. It touches on like my search for manhood throughout my teenage years, coming from a really masculine male environment. It touches on addiction. It touches on some really hard times in my life, and I feel like when you tell your life story, you realize, yes, we are a whole lot of individuals, but we have so many layovers in our life through experience or through emotion or through shared triumph or struggle. So I really hope that people may read the book and get something from it. It touches on masculinity a lot, and I know Father's Day is coming up this Sunday. So I fingers crossed if someone gets it for a Father's Day gift, they take something from it, and I hope that I hope that they sort of attack. The opening line is, I hope they grab life by the horns, and I truly mean that.
One tag that sits with you, Harry, is Australia's ballet dancing boxing star. That's unusual. That's an unusual combination. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, but I love ballet. I started back in 2019 to sort of help my boxing, and I was always quite obsessed with dance and performance arts growing up, and to see how much it's helped my boxing since 2019 has been amazing. So I've made a deal with myself. I'm only just turned 27, but by the time I'm 40, I want to do a performance of some sort in ballet, but I'm still pretty average at the moment, so I'm still a few years off that.
Well, I'll go to see that. I'm in. Harry Garside. I'm in, Harry. Do you also lawn bowl? That's one of our topics down the program. Getting a little off track. We're talking about lawn bowls. Is that in the life plan, Harry? Are you a lawn bowler?
I actually don't mind the lawn bowls. So I've got a granddad that's still alive, and he goes down and plays lawn bowls all the time. And he's quite a lonely man, but that's his community. He loves it, so I'm all for it.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Community, pretty important for people.
It's so important.
Absolutely. Yes. Don't worry about what happens with throwing the balls down on the turf.
Horrendous at that.
Worry about just getting together.
Listen to Brandy throwing the balls down. What's it said? I'm going down to the bowling green to throw a few balls down.
Well, that's how I termed it, Vossy. Now, what about the fighting? What happens with the boxing career going forward, Harry?
Yeah, I'm still training, still boxing, and I have no idea what's next. I've said to myself, it's quite hard not to think about it, but I've said to myself that don't come up with any answers until I give myself that space that I said at the start. I feel like I really need to feel some deep and raw emotions, and maybe when the dust settles of that, a couple of weeks after that, I hope that I have a few more answers sort of come to me, and whether it be professional boxing or whether it be maybe trying for LA in 4 years' time, or whether it be walking away altogether, I'm not too sure. I love boxing. I'll always do it, but competitively, it definitely does have a shelf life for me.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, okay. Do you realise the amount of support you have in Australia? Like, that line triggered emotion from people. Harry, you're quite a big thing. Like, as far as amateur boxers go, everyone knows who Harry Garside is. Did you feel the support?
Oh, it's quite a strange feeling, I guess, for my biggest fear to come true, and for me to fall on my face like I did in my first fight after such a great run at Tokyo, and to sort of feel that embarrassment in the moment, and then to feel like I got a massive hug from the whole of Australia, and to still feel it now. Like, it's honestly unbelievable, and I am forever grateful to be lucky enough to be born in this beautiful country, and I count my blessings every day. Like, I've lived in many places over the world. I've traveled to many places over the world, and we are so bloody lucky to live here. And I'm feeling the love from Australia, and I'm just forever grateful.
Now, you said you spoke about addiction, and you've got a impulsive and addictive personality. Just to tell us about what you've had to battle with.
Yeah, it's quite. I think in that post-match interview, some of the fears that were running through my body in that moment were like, I know what I did 5 years ago when I failed in sport, or when life knocked me down. I know the decisions I made 5-10 years ago, and they were really negative, and they were all about almost like punishment. I wanted to punish myself through addictions and through negative addictions, and I've crippled that my whole life. It's run in my family my whole life, and I think I was terrified post Paris, post that performance, and I guess I don't know if it's age, I don't know if it's maturity, but I'm really grateful that I'm making much better decisions for myself now. And addiction's a weird thing. I don't think you can ever fully get on top of it, but I know that I'm doing a lot better now than I ever have. So my addictions have varied throughout my life, and there's never really been one consistent, but there's always been one lingering in the background. And when it starts getting a little bit too much, I sort of drop that one and pick something else up, because I don't want someone else to find out about it. So, but yeah, it's just been an ongoing battle, and I know addiction runs in many families, and it's run in my family for many generations. So it's just something that I want to be the circuit breaker, and I want to make sure I have kids one day. I'm not passing on addiction to them.
Hey, Harry, last week we had our Rugby League Hall of Fame. Cooper Cronk, grand final legend, now on Fox League, but through Melbourne and the Roosters. And I said on stage to Cooper that you're the most famous plumber to ever be acclaimed. But the fact of the matter is, Harry, you are you not? You're a qualified plumber who's, on your business card you could have, plumber and your license number, but then not too many other people can put Commonwealth Games gold medalist, Olympic bronze medalist. Are you doing much on the tools in the plumbing caper?
I haven't. It's so funny you say that, because I was down in Melbourne, and I always work with my brother, who's got his own business as a plumber, and he was trying to get me out with him. I'm like, mate, I just got back from the Olympic Games. Give me a couple of weeks to stop and rest and recover. But he always tries to get me back out on the tools, and he always gets me doing the shit jobs, digging the trenches or laying the pipe, like doing the worst jobs. So it'll be a couple of weeks before I go back down to Melbourne, because I reckon it'll get me back on the tools.
The real world. Look, that's believe it or not, Harry, that's a great endorsement for the book. You read the Harry Garside story, you are reading a real story. And someone who can be an inspiration. What you did, as I understand it, you lost 10 of your first 18 fights when you first got into boxing. So you were the underdog, you trained harder, look where it got you. Harry, you let no one down at the Olympics. I know there's disappointment, quite obviously. People on the text have just flooded the line, James saying, who would bag Harry on the Olympics and all of that, So you got plenty of support, Harry. The book, The Good Fight's available. Father's Day, perfect opportunity to buy it. Harry, thanks for coming on the program.
Thanks, heaps, guys.